Detroit that goes to overtime. Here's how we got here. Evan Mobley knocks down a three. Then, tied at 103, Donovan Mitchell drives. Loose ball. Jarrett Allen appears to foul Asar Thompson. They do not call it. Looked like a trip. You be the judge. If they call that a foul, Detroit's going to the free throw line and likely winning this game. Instead, we go to overtime, tied at 103. And in overtime, Donovan Mitchell comes alive, hits his first three of the game. Here it is right here, bottom of your screen, bottom of the net for Spida. He had 7 of his 21 in overtime. As you see, Max Strus, the Strus is loose, gets the steal, gets to Donovan Mitchell, bucket good there. And then late in this game, it's the beard. James Harden, 1 of 2 from the free throw, but gets the rebound there, gets fouled again. He'd go 1 of 2 again from the free throw line. He said post-game, I got to hit those shots. But the rebound was huge. Harden, huge in this game, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Reason why they went out and got James Harden, for his experience, to put the ball in his hands in late game situations. Donovan Mitchell, cold early, 21 points in the end. Again, he had 7 of his 21 in overtime, finished 1 of 8 from 3, but that 3 was massive there in overtime. Max Strus off the bench, 20 points, 8 rebounds. Cade Cunningham had a heck of a game, 39.7 rebounds. Dennis Jenkins, 19. He was awesome. But the Cavaliers finally win one on the road this postseason, 117-113, to take a 3-2 lead. Get some instant analysis. Welcome in 16-year NBA veteran and former first-round pick, the great baby Al Harrington, and CBS Sports HQ NBA analyst John Gonzalez. Al, look, you called it. You said the Cavaliers were going to find a way to win this game, and that they did in overtime. What's your reaction to how they pulled it out?
Hey, welcome James Harden.
Yes.
Welcome, brother. Welcome. Finally. That's what we've been expecting from you. He stepped up, man. He played big. Obviously, we were expecting Spida to step in and just take over the game. And, he had one of those, he had a pedestrian game today. But, James really stepped up. He carried the team in certain moments. Obviously, Spida came alive when they needed him the most, obviously hitting that big 3 in overtime. And then what did Detroit do? Turn the ball over, and it was a 5-point play. And I think they scored 5 points in 3 seconds. So, at the end of the day, I just feel like, the Cavs really responded. Max Strus coming off the bench, playing huge. 19 points, 8 rebounds. He played, great on both sides of the ball. So it was just a good contribution from, a little bit of everybody today. And, they finally got that road win.
Cavs trailed by as many as 15, John, and they found a way to rally. They went on a 9-0 run at the end of regulation, aided by Evan Mobley, who was clutch with buckets down the stretch. What's your standout performance, your standout takeaway, and your headline from this game for the Cavaliers as they finally get a road win?
Well, my standout performers are you two, because before the game, you two said that the Cavs were finally going to get a road win, and I said you're crazy because they had 5 road games before this, and they lost all of them, and their scoring average dipped. But you guys believed, and you know what? So did the Cavaliers. First, as Al called out, credit to James Harden, right? He was money tonight. He has been, let's call him spotty in his playoff career. Sometimes you get good James Harden, sometimes you get bad James Harden. He was spectacular tonight, as was Evan Mobley. And both of those guys were needed because tonight, Donovan Mitchell, he was shaky offensively, right? Wasn't very efficient. Took 8 threes, he only made 1, didn't come till overtime. But the real thing was the resilience here, because the Pistons were up 9 with 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Cavs just kept coming, just kept chipping away. And even though the Cavs had more turnovers and that led to more points for the Pistons, what happened in overtime? Unfortunate turnover by Cade Cunningham. Max Strus picks him, gives it off to Donovan Mitchell. He gets an easy bucket. And then all those critical plays in overtime, they just kept stacking really good plays. And credit to the Cavaliers. They finally get a road win, and it couldn't have come at a bigger or more important time.
Yeah, Cleveland outscored Detroit 23-10 in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter in overtime. And Al, they got to overtime thanks in part to maybe a no call. I want to take you back to end of regulation. Donovan Mitchell, the ball gets stripped by Asar Thompson, and then Jarrett Allen appears to trip Thompson there. And if they call that a foul, we're talking about free throws for Detroit. We're talking about potentially a different outcome here. What did you see?
One, I saw a foul, just like everybody else. As they say, Stevie Wonder could have seen that he forgot foul right there. I'm surprised by Tony Brothers because, obviously he's a really good referee. And, for a game of this magnitude, to miss that call is crazy. But I guess it's just a little bit of bad luck down there in Detroit. Because if you think about it, last year when they played against the Knicks, Josh Hart had a foul on the other side of the court, in the corner, and they didn't call it. And that was the difference between them winning and losing the game and possibly this series.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Asar Thompson played incredible defense in this game, especially on Donovan Mitchell. There's a reason why Donovan Mitchell had a really inefficient night tonight and really needed James Harden and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen and Max Strus to pick him up. That's a clean strip. And then they're going the other way, and all of a sudden he gets bowled over. That should be a foul call. And they didn't look at it. They didn't look at the time. I thought at the very least that they'd look to see whether or not there was any time left on the clock. They didn't do that either. And if you're the Pistons, you're probably in your feelings about that, right? Because you're thinking, okay, that should be Asar Thompson on the line with a chance to win the game rather than sending it to overtime. And instead it goes to overtime and the Cavaliers pull away. Although we should also say, despite the fact that they booted that call, the Pistons went cold at the end of the fourth quarter. As I mentioned, you're up 9 with 2.5 left. You got to salt that away. You're at home. The Cavs haven't won one on the road. That should be your game. You're going to be kicking yourself. Yes, you're going to be angry that they booted that call, but you also should be angry at yourself for giving them the opportunity to steal that game on your floor.
You're absolutely right. And for Cleveland, it's largest comeback win in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter in the playoffs. As they come back to win this game. We always talk about how just want to go steal one on the road. Perhaps they really put the steal there and steal one on the road. I mean, John, that's a steal right there. I mean, you literally stole the victory by no foul call, and I'm sure that there's going to be some controversy out of Detroit on that one. They're going to be disappointed in that call and the non-call. And also, as you mentioned there, they went cold. Who disappointed you down the stretch here, John? Because Cade Cunningham needed some help, and he got some help from Tobias Harris and Dennis Jenkins, but needed some other role players to step up.
Yeah, and this is where I'm looking at Jalen Duren, right? Because Cade Cunningham was phenomenal tonight. Now, he had some turnovers. He had a big one in the fourth quarter, but that's because the usage rate for him is through the roof. They ask him to do so much. I'm going to put Cade Cunningham in the 6 turnovers to the side because he did everything else well. Tobias Harris, he's been excellent in the playoffs. Not his best game tonight, just 1 of 6 from deep. And then Dennis Jenkins has to step into the starting lineup. He has 19 points because Duncan Robinson was out with an injury. So I'm looking at Jalen Duren, who did not play in the fourth quarter and overtime. Instead, JB Bickerstaff went to Paul Reed, and this has been a problem all playoffs long for the Pistons, that Jalen Duren has not looked like the guy who really made a leap during the regular season. During the regular season, averaged over 19 points and 10 rebounds per game. During the playoffs, that scoring average has taken a nosedive. The rebounds have fallen. His field goal percentage have fallen off. Here's how you know that he wasn't good tonight. And I'm not a fan of single game plus minus. I think it's a stat that's sometimes overused. But in 25 minutes, he was a minus 16. And if you don't believe the numbers, believe JB Bickerstaff going, can't play him. Can't play him in fourth quarter. Can't play him in overtime. Got to go to my third center. Got to go to Paul Reed. This is a guy in Jalen Duren who's going to go into this offseason looking for major money. And by what he did in the regular season, he should get paid. By what he's doing in the playoffs, now all of a sudden, if I'm Detroit, I'm thinking twice, because if JB Bickerstaff can't put him out there in a critical game 5 on your own floor, something's wrong.
All right, so now the series heads back to Cleveland, Al, where my Cavaliers are a perfect 6-0. Do we think they go 7-0 and make a date with the Knicks, or are we going 7 here?
I think they have a good opportunity to close it out at home. Like, obviously, we know that, Detroit, they had their back against the wall, in the last series, and you saw how they responded. So we know that they have it in them. But, I think that Cleveland they play really good at home. They're a totally different team, and I think that they should be able to close out Detroit and get prepared for the Knicks.
I'm not going to go against you two. I mean, you guys called this one. It was like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You're two magicians over there. I didn't believe in the Cavs on the road at all. And a lot of things had to conspire against the Pistons for that to happen. But as Hakeem mentioned, the Cavs have been unbeatable literally at home during this postseason. So, yeah, I mean, the Pistons, second year in a row, the Pistons are going to go, man, what went wrong? How did we not get to the next round? How did they not end up getting to the Eastern Conference Finals this year to face off against the Knicks, who, by the way, the Pistons destroyed the Knicks this season, beat them all 3 times, and were plus 84 against them. They're licking their chops trying to get to the Knicks. And if they don't, it's going to be because they lost game 5, and they're going to have all kinds of time during the summer to look back and think, oh man, what could have been?
Cavaliers finally win one on the road, a pivotal game 5 win in Detroit. Game 6 Friday night back in Believe Land, where baby Al Harrington and myself believe in the Cavaliers. John's on board now. Men, thank you. Appreciate the perspective here on CBS Sports HQ.
Thanks.
Great stuff as always, talking ball with them. And, well, Cavaliers going to need multi-game series comebacks here. Looking for one here. Came back against the Raptors. Now a chance to come back here against the Detroit Pistons. It was tied 2-2. Now they're up 3-2. Again, game 6 Friday back in Cleveland. Coming up, a closeout game on the ice, but not so fast. Or was it?